hear some stories about Dad that I never knew. I mean, maybe he was coaching at Forest City High School or as an assistant coach early on at Arkansas, and just the different things that he did and the way he impacted people's lives that were stories that you never heard of. There's a ton of Harold Horton stories out there. Most of them are really good, and a lot of them are really funny. We're not going to have a pity party. We know that my dad's in heaven, and we know that he's not suffering anymore. Not that he suffered a whole lot all the way to the end. We were very blessed with that. But lots of great stories, and lots of people have reached out, and it's been very refreshing, to be honest.
Coach, you mentioned some of the stories that you maybe heard here in the last week or so that you hadn't heard. I wonder if you could share maybe a father-son story that stands out to you from back in the day with your dad.
Ty, it's interesting. I before I came on, I thought of a few stories, and Dad was an assistant coach at Arkansas for 13 years. He came in 1968 and left in 1980. And in about 1977, Dad's coaching the defensive line, and Arkansas is really good. I mean, they're terrific. That particular year, they went to the Orange Bowl and beat Oklahoma. And I'll never forget one Halloween night, the defensive linemen are going to come over to our house. And I'm a little boy. I'm in about 7th grade, but I can still remember it. And he's got Dan Hampton, who's first-team All-American defensive tackle from Jacksonville, Arkansas, who later goes on to be inducted in the Pro Hall of Fame with the Chicago Bears. He's got 2-time All-American Jimmy Walker from Little Rock Central. The best player may have been a kid named Dale White, who got hurt, but Dale was from Benton, Arkansas. He's got that guy named Reggie Freeman, and Reggie was from Hot Springs, and he's the defensive MVP of the Orange Bowl. I mean, so he's got these best D-line in the country. And so they come over to the house, and they're going to go trick-or-treat. And they're all dressed up, man. They're all dressed up. I remember Dan Count Dracula. So, I mean, here's this 6'5", 275-pound All-American. I mean, he fills up the whole door. And so they come over and they trick-or-treat, and they come in for a little while, and then they're going to leave. And they leave, and, great. That was really awesome. I was cool to see them. I mean, those guys were my heroes. Well, they're going to go across the neighborhood there on Stanton Avenue in Fayetteville, and they're going to go trick-or-treat at some of the neighbors' house. Well, our neighbor is a great man, great family by the name of Jim Harder. And Jim Harder is an FBI agent. And Mr. Harder, here comes these 4 people, 5 people, 6 people dressed up as Count Dracula, and who else knows what they're dressed up as. Well, the next thing you know, Jim Harder's got his gun out, and Dad's running across the street next door to the Harder's house, telling Jim, say, Jim, those are my players. Don't shoot them. They're not robbing the house. They're not doing anything. So, cute little Halloween story from back in the day, and I'm glad Mr. Harder didn't shoot him because that's the best D-line in the country.
Oh,
so, that was one. Dad was notorious for, he liked to walk. He was a walker, particularly in his later years. He walked when he coached some too, but a walk was not defined by how far he went or, if he got a good sweat out of it. A walk was defined for Dad by how many coins he found on the walk. And so he would go walk, and he would come back, and he might be gone for 45 minutes or an hour. And Coach Broyles was like this too. He was a walker. When he would get nervous, he would go walk. And so Dad would walk, and he would come back, and I'd say, hey, Dad, how was your walk? And he said, it was just okay. I said, Dad, you were gone an hour. You got a good sweat going. I mean, that's a great walk. He says, no, it was a 7 center. 7 center? What do you mean? Oh, I found 1 nickel and 2 pennies. At times he would say, how was your walk? And he'd say, oh, man, it was a great walk. I found 84 cents. I found, 3 quarters and a nickel and 4 pennies. And he says, oh, it was a great walk. So, and then one day his buddies at the coffee shop decided to go to the coffee shop. And one thing about Dad that was really good, I thought, he knew everybody, and he didn't care if they were the governor. He didn't care if they were in Congress. He didn't care if they were an NFL head coach or an NFL owner. He knew a lot of them. But he liked hanging out with the local maintenance guy. I mean, he didn't care. And so he had a coffee shop crew that he would go see. This is probably after he retired. And he would go to the local McDonald's, and they would drink coffee together. Tommy Boyer was in that group. Of course, Tommy just passed away. And a guy named Delno Cotton, who was a a great athlete at Fayetteville High many years ago. But they decided that they were going to take a quarter and they were going to glue it to the sidewalk. And so they're going to glue this quarter to the sidewalk. And when Dad came into the McDonald's there, they knew that he would see it because he had an eagle's eye for any coin on the ground. And so Dad sees this quarter, and it's glued to the sidewalk. And for the next 5 minutes, Dad's trying to get this quarter picked up from the sidewalk, and he couldn't get it. And they're just having a hoot inside watching him try to pick up this quarter. So the next thing Dad goes back to his truck, he gets his pocket knife out. The next thing you know, he's got the pocket knife out, and he's trying to, get that quarter. And eventually Dad got that quarter, but they got about a 10-minute laugh out of Coach trying to get that quarter picked up that they found on the sidewalk. Lots of Harold Horton stories, but just some great, great memories of him as a coach, him as a father, just a really, really, really good man, and left a great legacy for all of us.
Coach, you've kind of taken on that legacy as has your kids and as has the rest of the family. Like I said, Matt's talked about you. Felix has talked about you. Heck, Coach, I had lunch today with Cam Keller's stepfather, Jeff Marks, who's my real estate agent, and Cameron's coming to play for you at Air Force.
Sure is.
And I know you're excited about that. And what Jeff told me at lunch today about you is what you see is what you get. And as I hear you talk these stories about your dad, I can't help but think he passed on a great legacy to you, and you've taken it and run with it. You know how the phrase, sometimes the apple falls far from the tree? Well, based on everyone I've talked to, that's not the case with you, Coach.
Well, I appreciate it. He was a great example for me. And the funny thing about Dad and I, we obviously were very close. We were very, very close. Most days, wherever I've coached, whether it was Air Force or Auburn or Vanderbilt or Kansas State, most days when I would drive home from work, I would call him and call him and my mom just to check in with them. That was kind of my routine, see how their day went, all that kind of stuff. And so I'm going to miss those phone calls. We were close, but I never played for him. I was playing at Arkansas when he was coaching at UCA. And so he never coached my Little League baseball team, or I never was on his staff when he was the head coach and I was, getting started in coaching. We were never on the same team. And that's kind of ironic because here both of us were coaches for so long, and here I've done it 35 years now, and I never got to coach with him, or I never played for him. He would have been great to play for, though.
Previously on Halftime.
I'll make a steak and spaghetti and meatballs and a green salad. Yeah, why not? I mean,
just like 9 a.m.
Fuel your day properly.
He sent me a picture a couple days ago, and it was biscuit and gravy with sausage gravy, and then these slabs of bacon. Like the bacon was thick. It was like that.
Gravy.
Oh, it was wonderful.
We didn't have anything going on Sunday. I had my son. It's raining all day long. There's nothing else. We were going to go fishing if it was nice. There was nothing else to do. So, what is the absolute least healthy thing I could make for my 13-year-old son? What would be the thing that would clog his arteries harder than anything else right now? And the kid loves McDonald's and he loves Chick-fil-A and all those things that'll clog your arteries, but there's nothing like sausage gravy. Made with half and half and whole milk. Come on. Has anybody actually tried to make sausage gravy with fat-free milk or skim milk? And is that the same thing as putting ketchup on a steak?
Yeah, that's wrong.
Listen to Halftime weekdays from 11 to 2.
The Fence Man, 782-3936 is the number. If you're looking for security fencing around your home or your property, your office, the Fence Man can do it for you. 782-3936 is the number. Ask about new aluminum fencing that looks great. It's got a great look. A lot of curb appeal, but also they can do it in a variety of lengths as well, or heights for your fence, or do it in lengths and set it up a little bit different. Security fencing. It's the hot thing right now, and they can build you a great-looking security fence at your home or office with powered automatic gates as well. 782-3936, the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
And there's a pass to Bobby Kimball. And he gets selected by everybody.
We've had former players of his talk about that same thing you talked about. I'm pretty sure I've heard Dan Hampton talk and speak his praises. So it's pretty cool to see so many young men impacted by his legacies that left over here, not just his family. That, by the way, we're talking with Coach Tim Horton, currently at Air Force right now. Coach, I know you've been there before, so it's not like it's new territory for you. But what's it like being in Colorado? How are things going at the Air Force Academy with the football program?
You know, Ty, it's been great. This will actually be my 12th year at the Air Force Academy, and we love it. I was there for 7 years with a guy by the name of Fisher DeBerry early in my career, and I actually left as the offensive coordinator at Air Force to come coach at Arkansas. I came with Houston Nutt and then stayed with Coach Petrino. Now I'm back, so this is round 2, and I'm about to start year 5. And Ty, college football's a mess right now. I mean, with the transfer portal and the NIL and the part that Dad was so good at and the part that I would like to think I'm really good at is the relationship part with the kid, the family, the high school coaches, and that part's going away to a certain extent because particularly in the Southeastern Conference, now it's all about the money. Mm-hmm. You know, how much can we give a guy on NIL? And at the Air Force Academy, we really don't have that. We can't get a kid from the transfer portal. We don't lose a lot of kids to the transfer portal. Every student at the Air Force Academy gets a little bitty stipend every month. And so we're not in the NIL world. And so it's about as pure as there is left. You know, I don't know if I'll close my career here or not, but it's been great to be back for round 2. And we've had success. I mean, we've won, and we've won at a high level, and that's been good too.
Well, Coach, not only in your work life, but your personal life, you and your wife, Lauren, you're on your way to Quantico, Virginia.
We are.
To celebrate.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell our audience what you're celebrating?
Our son, Jackson. Jackson is a graduate of the University of Arkansas, graduated about a year ago. And then he became an officer in the United States Marine Corps. And we're not a family that's got a lot of military background. And so Jackson joins the Marine Corps, and we're actually headed to Quantico, Virginia. He's got a ceremony on Friday morning, graduating from what they call the basic school. And so he wants to get bad guys. So just a lot of respect for him and all of our military that they're willing to do what they do to protect and serve our country. So we're really proud of Jackson and looking forward to spending a couple of days with him in D.C. this weekend.
Coach, you mentioned your family not necessarily having the most extensive military background, but Coach Harold, he served not too far from me, right? I'm in Fort Smith. He was at Fort Chaffee for a little bit, wasn't he?
He was. When he was finishing up at Arkansas, I think right after he graduated, he was in the Army. And I think at that time everybody had to serve. And so I think his big job, Ty, used to give him a hard time about it. He was an ambulance driver. And so, you know, I don't think that they weren't going to put him on the machine guns like they're doing Jackson. But I think that's a great respect for our military, and we're real proud of Jackson.
Coach, congratulations on that front. You referenced Coach Broyles a little bit earlier, and obviously your dad spent some time with him early on in his career, really helped lay the foundation for Coach Broyles' initial teams. I wonder if you could just kind of lay out how important that was for the early success of Arkansas football. Obviously, it went Coach Broyles to Coach Holtz, where your dad served under there. How important do you think his teams were early on in the late 50s and 60s for establishing Arkansas football back then?
Dad has had a lot of honors in his lifetime, most of them on the field, but a lot off the field as well. But I think his greatest honor may have been, and he may have been the most proud of this one, is he was the team captain of the 1961 Razorbacks. And the class of 61, that team, won 3 straight Southwest Conference championships. And that was Coach Broyles' first 3 championships. And so in 61, they went to the Sugar Bowl and lost to Alabama. I think the very next year they went back to the Sugar Bowl in 62. 63, they did not have a real good year. They went 5-5. But in 64, of course, they win the national championship. And I got to spend a lot of time with Coach Hatfield the day before Dad's funeral, and he was talking about how he and that class of 64, they were all freshmen when my dad was a senior in 61. And so they did lay the foundation. They did kind of lay the groundwork and the work ethic and the standard of excellence early in the program. Of course, you win the national championship in 64 and 65. You go undefeated and lose to LSU in the Cotton Bowl, or you'd have won back-to-back national championships. And so I think those were really, really, important years. And then Dad comes back in 68, and in 68 they go to the Sugar Bowl and win. In 69, of course, was the game against Texas, the great shootout. And so Dad was a part of just a special era in Razorback football when he was playing, and then when he came back to coach there as well.
Coach, I want to get you out of here with a fun one, and hopefully a memory you guys shared. Razorback Roadshow stopped at the Bulldog in Searcy at Bald Knob, a place that your dad was formerly the head coach of the high school team. Did you get a chance to go to Bald Knob and have a strawberry shortcake with your pops?
Well, I have done that before. One other time we were fishing over there one day, and I think they called it the Bulldog Cafe, if I remember correctly. But we pulled in there and had something. I can't remember exactly, but that was actually before I was born, but I've heard all about the Bald Knob story. So a lot of great memories, and the beauty of Dad's life is that we'll get to see him again in heaven, because I know that's where he is, and hopefully I'll get a chance to go too.
Coach, you're really gracious with your time. Thank you for sharing an insight into one of the great men in Arkansas sports history. We appreciate you joining us today.
Hey, Ty, thanks a lot. Thanks for having me. And, hey, anything we can ever do for you out at the Air Force Academy, don't hesitate to call.
Coach, enjoy your son's graduation this weekend. I know that's going to be a blast.
Hey, thanks, Ty. I really appreciate it.
Did you know Farm Credit of Western Arkansas has 25 locations around our state? 25 great homes that you can go to and talk to a lending professional that can help you get all the information you need to remodel your current home or maybe build a brand new dream home from ground up. Farm Credit of Western Arkansas has been there for many decades, many years, and they're waiting for you right here in our neighborhood. MyAgLender.com to find a location. That's MyAGLender.com. Stop in any of their 25 locations. That's Farm Credit of Western Arkansas, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Experience Razorback football on the Hill this fall as quarterback Taylon Green, defensive stalwart Cam Ball, and the Hogs will be returning to action for great home matchups, including the August 30th home opener. The first ever matchup with Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, on September 27th, and a matchup against Texas A&M inside Razorback Stadium for the first time since 2013. Secure your tickets online right now at ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
Brought to you by our friends at LureNet.com. If you're wanting to load up the tackle box for summer, they've got everything you need on all the great brands made by Pradco, like Rebel, Yum, Booyah, and more. And all U.S. orders get over $35, get free U.S. shipping as well. So fill up the tackle box with all of those treasures you'll find exclusively at LureNet.com. That's LureNet.com.
Boy, what a great interview right there from Ty with Tim Horton, former Arkansas Razorback coach, now at Air Force, sharing some awesome stories of his father who was around back in Arkansas Razorbacks football heyday. Awesome stories right there in that segment. We've got more great stories and interviews coming up here in this Friday edition of the Best of the Morning Rush. Former Razorbacks legends like Norm DeBryan, Todd Day, and of course a few shenanigans here and there. Stay tuned. It's the Best of the Morning Rush coming up here on ESPN Arkansas.
What do they say about a broke clock?
It's broke twice a day. Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. It strikes 12 twice a day. It's 12.
It's right twice.
It's right twice a day. Whatever.
Twice.
This is the Best of the Morning Rush.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Since 2009, the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery has provided more than $1 billion in scholarships to thousands of Arkansans just like you. So thanks a billion, Arkansas. If you'd like to apply for the scholarship, simply go to sams.adhe.edu and fill out the information. And just like that, you're applied. The deadline's coming up, so don't forget. Apply now at sams.adhe.edu.
Protect what matters most with the Fence Man. From heavy-duty security fencing to powered automatic gates, the Fence Man's got Fort Smith covered. The Fence Man has served the Fort Smith area for over 40 years. Custom built and built to last. Free quotes, financing for 18 months. When it comes to security fencing, nobody builds it better than the Fence Man. Call 479-782-3936 or visit thefencemanar.com. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6 inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Hey, Tuesdays is a great day to stop by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I know everyone thinks tacos on Tuesday, Brooklyn, but you guys have taco pizzas on special as well, plus some special drink prices on Mexican beers.
Yes, we have our $1 off Mexican imports, $2 off margaritas, $1 off when wearing a Papa's t-shirt.
How many Papa's Pub t-shirts do you have?
Quite a bit right now in stock.
Come on by and see us at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right.
Call my friend J.T. Finley at 479-521-4220.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. The future of office printing is here with Xerox's Connect Key technology and cloud connectivity. Xerox offers seamless integration, top-notch security, and unmatched efficiency to help your business stay ahead. Don't miss out. Call us today at 783-6600 and ask about our special offer for a free Xerox color printer with many Xerox models. Dixie Digital Imaging, leading the way in office technology.
Forsgren is hiring immediately. Forsgren Incorporated, a heritage company and premier employer, is now hiring equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Have experience in any of these areas? Apply now at goforsgren.com. Don't delay. Forsgren is hiring now at goforsgren.com. Don't miss your opportunity to join the Forsgren legacy. Forsgren has immediate openings for equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Apply now at goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Razorback fans, it's Omaha time. Gear up for every tailgate and watch party at the Party Place, the River Valley's largest locally owned party supply superstore. All the Razorback decor you need, from cups, plates, banners, and even beer hats. Heat up summer with luau supplies, Hawaiian shirts, paperware, leis, and more. Get ready to light up the 4th of July with red, white, and blue decorations that'll make your celebration sparkle. Shop local, celebrate big. Shop the Party Place, 7810 Rogers Avenue behind Ashley's Furniture. Go hog wild with the Party Place, where every celebration starts.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Tonight, mainly clear skies. Overnight low will drop down in the upper 60s to lower 70s. Plenty of sunshine on Friday. A high will be into the low 90s. And then Saturday, expecting to see sunny skies, highs in the lower 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 71 days. The best highlights, interviews, and segments. You're listening to the best of the Morning Rush.
All right, we are joined now by Coach Houston Nutt here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Coach, one of the things Matt Jones always talked about is your love for dual sport athletes. And I know you guys used to play a little pickup back in the day, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Ah, there we go.
He was tough to handle, too, now.
Yeah. Coach, you're doing some coaching these days, not necessarily college football, but Michael Beaumont, who's the director of athletics for Fort Smith Public Schools, telling you're coaching your grandkids, aren't you?
Well, they're 3 years of age and 2 years of age. So, hey, I do get them outside. I do put a ball in their hand now.
That's great.
Start them young as best you can.
Oh yeah, because you know the moms and dad, they got the iPads and stuff going, and so when Pappy gets there, it's okay. We're gonna put that up for a while.
You don't want to be
going outside.
You don't want to be the iPad grandpa. You don't want your grandkids to be the iPad grandkids.
Yeah. They got to get somebody. And I'm all for phonics and ABCs and get smart and all that, but I'm gonna let the others do that. I'm gonna get them outside and put a ball in their hand and get them going.
Work them out. Take them for ice cream, send them home.
Yeah.
That's it.
all the fun stuff. Coach, I know getting ready for football season, I know it's a while till August, but a lot of stuff is accomplished this time of year. And I don't know if you got a chance. Sam Pittman was on Chuck and Bo earlier this morning. He talked about kind of his set. What does that look like for a head coach kind of gearing up? And I know things have changed a lot with NIL and the current structure of college athletics, but what did that look like for you in the offseason, getting ready for your team the upcoming fall?
Yeah, I always loved off season, and that's where you really start to build your team. And actually, the winter workout once we got the signing date out of the way, they've been in the weight room. Your strength coach is so important because they had them the entire time during the recruiting time, and so now you do these workouts, and that's where you invest. You sacrifice. You make this investment, and the red shirt freshmen are the ones that's been holding those dummies all year long. Now it's their time, and they see the light. I got a chance to go compete for a position, and that's to me where you get them better in the spring. You find out about your team, and there's nothing like where you don't have the pressure of trying to put a game plan together. You don't have a game, but you're trying to get your players better, and you're building this culture and this team. To me, that's one of the greatest times there is. Now, when I go and speak to football teams, the one thing that's different, as you mentioned, times have changed. The one thing that's different, like when I spoke to SMU, Rhett told me that, 27 players didn't go through all season or spring. They got there in June and July. And so this mass transfer portal, the massive movement, it makes things much more difficult. For the first time to have your team in August is so much different than the question that you're asking me about what's it like for the spring. Well, we had all our players, there. And so we were looking forward to the fall, and we have in our mind, okay, we may make some moves, and we're going to move him from a safety to a linebacker, or we're going to move him from wide out to tailbacker, things like that. And so it would be much different for me now to say, oh, we got 27 players that's all played their experience. They hadn't set foot on campus yet, hadn't been in the locker room yet. Now, that would be different.
Houston Nutt with us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Coach, a hot topic around college football is the addition of a general manager to the staff of a football program in today's modern world. What do you think of that? And just kind of what are your thoughts on this expanding role and seemingly the gap between college football and pro football narrowing?
Yeah, that's a great question. I hear a lot of talk about that all over the country, and all these moving parts are so much different than when I coached. And I hadn't coached a team in 13 years, so now when you look at it, general manager, that probably makes sense. You have so many things that are moving, these moving parts. I'm talking about the transfer portal. When I walk into these schools, these colleges, they have 2 or 3 guys just looking at the portal, looking at the transfer. So you got 3 different types of recruiting going on. So it's going to take some very good organization. And, a general manager to me would be a guy that would help in that area as far as, the evaluation of what your team, the needs of your team. And, you still have high school, you got junior college, and then you got transfer portal. You got a lot going on right there. And so, to me, you go back to that guy, whoever the point guy, whether it be a recruiting coordinator or that general manager, and now you start bringing in the money part of it as well. And that to me, is where, I guess, where the general manager, because each team has recruiting coordinators on campus, and they have their eyes on all 3 levels. So what I mean by that is high school, junior college, and transfer portal. And so now it's, you start the negotiations deal. Coach, we can get him for $250, but now TCU just came in. They offered $275. What are we going to do? That kind of deal that to me is much, much different. And that's what you said, which is so true. It's getting closer, if not already, the NFL type.
So with your experience of the game, your understanding of the game, your experience talking to kids, is that a role that would interest you at some school and possibly Arkansas? Has anyone reached out to you about possibly talking about a role as a general manager?
No, nobody's reached out to me right now. And
would you be interested if they did?
I don't. It has to be a great fit. Where you want to be able to wake up and go to work and know that someone needs you, and you feel like the chemistry and everything would, to me, all that's so important. It has to be a good fit, because right now I got a really good schedule. I go speak to teams and speak to corporations, and then I go chase 2 grandsons. That's hard. That's hard to beat right now.
And that
it would take a lot. It'd take a lot to do that.
And Coach, there's the free time to golf. I was talking with a Razorback fan the other day that got paired up with you somewhere outside the Dallas area. A lot less free time to golf if you're having to worry about all that football stuff.
Hey, you're exactly right. And I got hooked on that game. I can see why Coach Broyles wouldn't. He loved golf so much, and of course he's part of the Augusta members and all that. And I never will forget asking him one day. We just got through beating Texas in the Cotton Bowl. We went to Hot Springs for a Razorback Club, and we got the tickets sold, and he's so happy. And I said, this is going to be a good time. I'm going to hit him with this. So we're on that school plane going back to Fayetteville. I said, Coach, I noticed you took Spurrier, you took Tommy Tuberville to Augusta. You think I can play some golf? Go with you sometime? No, I do not want you playing golf. Not now. I want you in the film room. I said, I know you took Tommy Tuberville. I want them playing golf. And so he wanted the opponents to play golf because he knew how much time it took, but he didn't want his coach playing golf. So he didn't allow me to go. But eventually he took me. I went with the Lindsays, and I got to watch. I didn't get to play. I got to watch, which was not a blade out of place. A beautiful place. We're getting on the wrong subject. But it just kind of shows you where Coach Broyles' mindset was. Hey, I don't want my coaches playing golf.
No, you're not going to find any dandelions in Augusta, Georgia. So.
You got that right.
Yeah. So let me bring this back to golf. When I was a kid, your brother was the assistant coach at what's now UA Fort Smith, but it was West Stark. He was working with Bobby Venn. and he lived on the number 4 fairway at Fianna Hills, and I was just a 8, 9, 10-year-old kid out there, 12-year-old kid, whatever, playing golf, and he'd sneak out that back door and chip and putt, and he'd start playing with us some. So I remember years ago he'd get out on that golf course at night after he'd get home and start sharpening up them golf skills. He said he had to beat his older brother. So
I tell you what, he's the best golfer. I always get on him. I said, well, you've been playing golf since your Dallas Maverick days, man. You played golf all day long.
Yeah.
And he's the best golfer. He's probably about 2 or 3 handicap. And then Dick, the basketball guys they're up on that game too. So we got to have strokes. Danny and I have to have strokes.
Well, I'll tell you what, pack them clubs and bring them with you. And Hardscrabble's just around the corner. And Ty and I'll take you out, and we'll chase that white ball around.
There's nothing like it. It's a great game.
The best highlights, interviews, and segments. You're listening to the best of the Morning Rush.
Smalls here. It's time to turn things up a notch. This summer, don't binge watch shows. Binge s'mores by the campfire. Press pause on the podcast and press play on the warm weather vibes. Here's your chance to win $10,000 for your ultimate summer. What are you waiting for? Take your shot with 5-Hour Energy and make this summer your best summer ever. Visit 5heshot.com for full details and rules and enter today. No purchase necessary. Ends June 30th, 2025.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text BREAK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text BREAK to 321-321. That's BREAK to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
See dealer for details. At Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway, Van Buren, there's never been a better time to buy. Stop in today and check out our huge discounts on new Chevrolets and pre-owns. No reasonable offer will be refused, and at Rhodes, we always give you more for your trade. Plus, we offer free pickup and delivery. You can even buy remotely. Stop in and let us show you the Rhodes way with our 2-year complimentary maintenance program on every vehicle sold. Experience the Rhodes way. Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway, where you get the best prices, period.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Summer is finally here. Come check out Kofer's Boat Center's huge selection of boats with extra rebates for a limited time. Kofer's features low pontoons and fishing boats, Malibu and Axis wake surf boats, Kayla's bass boats, and Kofer's has recently added the luxury line of Harris pontoons. Kofer's experienced professionals will answer all of your boating questions, and their award-winning customer service is second to none. Plus, they have the best boat storage option in town. Find them online at Kofers.com. That's COPATRS.com. Kofer's Boat Center, providing family fun since 1971.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
Are you looking for a great deal on a previously owned vehicle but want to avoid high-pressure sales? If so, you need to visit Edwards Auto Sales in Roland. For over 30 years, Ernie Edwards and his staff have helped folks from Arkansas and Oklahoma River Valley buy a quality vehicle and offer a buy here, pay here program as part of their services. Some restrictions may apply. Come visit Edwards Auto Center newly remodeled facility, 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge, the first car dealer on your right, or log on at edwardsautosalesinc.com.
Fords Grid Incorporated, a company known for paying top wages and benefits, has immediate openings for equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. For nearly 90 years, Fords Grid has built the foundations of the River Valley, and now you can become a part of that legacy. Apply now from any device at goforsgrid.com. That's goforsgrid.com. Do you finally want to get paid well for your work? Do you want to work for a company that treats you like family? Apply now at goforsgrid.com. Fords Grid Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey everyone, Braden Webb here at AAA Business Systems in Northwest Arkansas. You may remember me from my days playing baseball for the Hogs. Now I'm hitting home runs for AAA Business Systems and enhancing the ways company do business in our area. If you want to partner with the best office technology provider in Northwest Arkansas, call me today at 479-442-4185. Let's win together, and remember, anything else is just a copy.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
It's like, well, if this happened, 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 I could date Jessica Alba.
No.
That's the equivalent of how Arkansas.
No.
Top dogs.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
It's only 7:41. How are you already drinking this morning? Jeez.
Look who I work with.
Yeah, that's
Look who I work with.
That is 100% Ty Richardson authentic. You call it Tyism or whatever you want to call it.
The Tyism would be spelled incorrectly and out of context.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
When they run through that A here in 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't need Viagra, but that's my Viagra when they run through the
These guys are the best of the best.
I'll say this. One of my favorite follows on social media is an Instagram account called Scenic Kisses.
This is the best of the morning rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Fastball Friday brought to you by QC Kinetics. You know, they've been on the cutting edge of this medical revolution that's been going on with joint pain relief that's lasted a while. It's regenerative medicine. What does that mean? Well, they take the healing powers, the healing properties from your own body, put them in your aching joint where you hurt the most. And they do this every day with friends and neighbors of all of us right here to avoid surgery, drugs, and downtime, and really a lot more expense. It's cellular level therapies that can get that chronic joint pain behind you. So do the things you love this summer. Be with family, be with friends, all your hobbies, and say goodbye to that chronic pain that you've been living with for years now. 479-999-1234 is the number. 999-1234. A free consultation awaits you on the other end of the phone. It's QC Kinetics right here in Northwest Arkansas. 999-1234. Hey, I want to thank again Jackie and Matt and the team at Mock Legal Solutions for helping bring our coverage this week up in Omaha. It's been a wonderful partnership with them. And if you need a great skilled attorney and a team of people to represent you, Mock Legal Solutions is the one to call. They have always done a great job of making sure you understand the situation, also creating easy to understand flat fees, low monthly payments, and making it where it's affordable to get great representation. Divorce, family law matters, car wreck cases, slip and fall, dog bite cases, and they have 2 locations, Fort Smith and in Sallisaw, Oklahoma as well. 479-769-1505, 769-1505, or go to mocklegalsolutions.com.
I'm going to be honest. I'm leaning towards not going to a party this year and just sitting on my couch and watching it, rooting just feverishly against the Kansas City Chiefs this upcoming weekend. We'll have to see. There are some Super Bowl things I want to get into. Can I be selfish?
Hard to root for the Eagles, though.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Can I be selfish? Can we talk about the Super Bowl today? I know it's going to be more of a conversation Thursday and Friday, but with me gone, I kind of want to still talk about it and give a few things.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, all right. Let me scratch that up.
What do you
Let me
think,
scratch
Colton?
that up.
We'll let
a little
Colton-
bit.
We'll save that for the big boys on their
Okay,
day.
all right, there it
We'll let
is.
the adults talk
All right,
about that
so
later in the
the
week.
30 minutes of content I prep regarding the Super Bowl, just scrap it. It's not going to
You
happen.
can do that
All right,
over at the kids' table.
I'll start my beef.
I mean, I don't know what kind of show host takes off the days before the Super Bowl, but, whatever.
Well, the show host is going to be here Monday. I could have taken the Monday off, too, but I decided, I don't think Tommy can do a show without me on Super Bowl Monday.
Yeah, I don't think I
And by
could
the
have
way,
survived it.
since we're bringing that up, you took off these days, and you took off Monday. You've done this before.
At the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
No. You've got amnesia.
No, I've got truth serum this morning, so it's happened. I apologize, though.
Probably on assignment.
Poor planning. Yeah,
I was probably on assignment.
assignment of vacation. That's what it
No,
was.
I never take vacation in February.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic.
No, I mean, it's basketball season. I don't ever take
You legitimately have been gone this Monday after the Super
must
Bowl.
have been a work assignment.
It was not, but that's okay. All right. So beefs. Here's mine. I have to put this a little on myself because my roommate told me before I left for the DMV, go to the downtown one, don't go to the other one. It's a lot slower. I disregarded what he said. I stopped in the turning lane, saw it was crowded outside, still decided to come in. It was in the turning lane, was going to go right and just keep on going to work. I was like, no, I'm going to do it. I proceeded to just almost nail incoming traffic, hit the curb, and made it in. So it's not a great start to begin with. I disregarded my roommate's advice. It was right, and I almost got into a wreck. So we're already getting over.
Well, who's to say the downtown one wouldn't have been busy?
You're right.
It's
That's
the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
You never get anything done at the DMV the first 5 days or the last 5 days of a month, ever.
And my dad's told me that advice, so that's 0 for 3 for me. But it continues. So get there, assess the personal property for the Camry. That takes 2 seconds. Get the sheets or whatever. I'm like, okay.
So this wasn't the license renewal.
No, this was. So I proceeded to jump in line. They were on 42. I pulled out an 86. And so, but it was going fast. It was going fast. So 30 or 45 minutes later, I get up there, and Miss Lisa, who was kind, perfect, helped me out, was great, goes through, is like, okay, this is what you need, and thanks to your advice, I had everything I got. And so it was the birth certificate, the social. I didn't have my immunization card was at the house. Luckily, I didn't need that. What else did I need?
A utility bill.
Utility bill had that. Old driver's license, and there's one other thing. I had it all. Luckily, I had it all. So this is where, and this is not her fault. I don't know if I'm playing President Trump, Governor Sanders, but I get this renewal.
Always Trump's fault.
And it still expires next year. Why the hell do I have to get this
Hang on.
card?
When did your current license expire?
Next year.
Okay, well, they prorated it, right?
It was $10.
Yeah. Same thing happened with Laura.
But that's so stupid. Why am I getting a new license, which they require on flights starting May the 7th, and not pushing it back 5 years? I pay the extra whatever it was.
Yeah.
But now I got to come back and do this whole process again.
That's a reasonable stance on that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so just tell me who to blame. Our listeners, 877-377-6963. I'm not done. Hold on.
You asked who to blame.
Fill in.
Go ahead.
Just hold it for 1 second. So she tells you, and I'm thinking,
you're a check.
And I'm thinking,
Hunter, you're a check. It's his fault.
I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is the low point of the thing, and then the picture happens, and I had forgotten that. Not an hour or two ago, I'm 30 years old and I still get acne ticks me off. So I popped 2 zits.
Oh,
so
nice.
my driver's license
Lovely.
photo, I was smiling, and then I stopped. Then it flashed, and then it's blotching red. So I'm just covered in what looks like a Proactive commercial on my new license.
The before photo.
The before photo that, by the way, only lasts a year. And then I got to go through this whole wanky-danky process again.
But you don't have to bring your Social Security card. You don't have to do any of that stuff the next time.
But and then it comes out, and the lamination's jacked up. So they have to, like, slice it off. And so I'm petrified that when I get to X and A, that they're going to look and say, you forged this. So I have my passport in my car as a backup because I'm scared that they're going to look at this and say, well, it's not whatever. I think I got everything in there. How on God's green earth at 9:07 here this morning do I still get zits at 30 years old?
Well, what's your favorite
diet?
food?
Pizza.
What's pizza got a lot of?
Goodness.
The other G word, grease.
Grease.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is goodness, but
that's the reason. That's the driver's license thing is absurd.
I don't
legitimately. Who do I blame for that? Who can I yell and scream at and bicker at here on this What's Your Beef Wednesday?
That would be a state issue. I mean, you can blame.
Is that not just so nonsensical?
But the requirement for the new ID for boarding a plane in May is a requirement of the FAA, the federal government, whatever. Our state of Arkansas had nothing to do with that. So they prorated it, right? You said it only cost you $10.
$10.
Yeah,
That's a lot of money.
You'll have to go. Well, a lot of money. You go back in a year. When did you say it expires now? Because it's on your birthday generally, and I think it's 8 years.
I was too ashamed to bring it in this morning. I thought I'll use it as a prop and show Colton and Tommy. I'm not going to show it on our video thing because I don't need people hacking my information.
We need to blur that out. We want to see this photo.
We'll put it on Twitter. All the new notifications.
It is
important stuff.
Horrific, and I say that as someone that's taking a multitude of terrible photos. But yes,
well,
the experience,
pizza and booze, says Andrew. That's your problem.
The experience continues.
John in Nashville advises you cut the sugar, and the acne will be reduced drastically.
That's your fault. There's candy in there.
I don't buy the candy.
There's been candy in there since I started working here.
Can we issue a no candy decree?
No, because then everyone else would quit.
I'll just say, hey, at Ty's recommendation, at the Golden Boys, due to his acne problem, no more candy in the office.
Do you use any products? Like, do you have any face wash you use in the shower? Do you exfoliate?
Yeah, I use the Neutrogena grapefruit acne wash.
You say grapefruit or grapefruit?
Grapefruit, because I love grapefruit. I love the seltzers. I love the sodas. I love the acne wash. I love it all.
How about a
Fresca? So I went on a diatribe for about 8 minutes or so on my beef. What is your beef here on this beautiful Wednesday morning? Can you have a beef that you get to be rid of me for the next 2 days?
It's hard to be in a bad mood.
Heading into another weekend, no baseball, unfortunately, to watch. But, I think about all the fun outdoor things that we can do here in Arkansas. And Gaston's is one place that I love to go and enjoy the great outdoors. Because at Gaston's, you're going to find everything on one property that's for the whole family. Of course, the great fishing on the White River, private cabins and lodges that are there for you as well. But you're also going to find, they're guides, but a great swimming pool, fitness areas. They've also got the trails that you can hike and the nature and outdoor places as well. And then a great restaurant that overlooks the White River for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's my favorite place to hang out. It's my getaway. And with the private cabins and lodges, you can't beat it. Gaston's White River Resort, 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
Speaking of our show, I have some great news for everyone out there listening.
In addition to your gone the next 2 days?
In addition to the
vacation we all get.
Listen to this. Jason Barrett, who heads up Barrett Sports Media, they come out with these radio show rankings every single year. You've got the major market shows, the mid-market shows, the time slots. They differentiate on that. And I asked him, I was like, yo, what do we got to do to crack the top 20? I didn't say it like that, but I'm, just being me.
Probably didn't help. Yeah.
And he said, you got listen to this. This is a big deal. I'm probably going to put it on our social somewhere. We cracked the top 58. We're in the 58 of the running for 20 midday mid-market radio.
Hey, we're 58.
So I don't know if that means that we're number 58, but at least we're on the list.
Or we're in the 58th percentile. That'd be probably more our speed.
Irregardless, congratulations are in order to the Morning Rush, a nearly 20-year run that we are one of the 58 mid-market, midday shows that are considered the best sports talk radio show in America.
That's great. Is there one in
You're
every state?
welcome.
Do I get a raise?
I would think that this is, if this doesn't sell the show,
kind of accomplishment.
I mean, that's why it's stuff like this. It's the reason that Taco Bell wants to be associated. To hit that Line Now app. I mean, it just keeps on coming.
Is that
the good news keeps on coming.
Is that the ring of the Radio Hall of Fame calling? Is that what I hear now? Hey, how can we leave out a guy that's 58?
Who is the help me on this and forgive my ignorance, which I have to say a million times a show.
Is that Marconi on the phone? Hello?
Is it Dave Baker, the guy that does the NFL Hall of Fame when he walks up to the door and you get emotional and everything else? So I don't know what the equivalent of that is for radio. Maybe it's Clay Henry knocking on our door.
I don't think it's Clay.
And doing that.
Don't wait on Clay to knock on your door.
But that is, as angry as I was about the DMV when I got that email this morning, I became joyous instantaneously that we are one of the, again, let me reiterate.
Here's this segment. We're probably out of the top 60.
Yes. The top 50
there you go.
Mid-market.
You're going to tell everybody in Phoenix
radio
about
show.
this,
Oh,
aren't you?
my God.
You're going to lead with that at the bar, aren't you?
It's why.
Hey, baby.
Do you know who this is?
You know who I am?
You know what's funny?
You never talked to a top 58 radio.
I know this is surprising with the occasional ego that I let loose on these airwaves, but I actually get really annoyed when my friends will go up to girls that I don't know and say, "Do you know who this is?" pointing at me. That is not that.
Oh, I got one worse than that.
It's never worked. It never will work because I don't know how to play it off. I never have and I never will. So that is, again, it's one thing from 9 to 11 now, formerly 6 to 9, but now. So great news. Now, I don't know what we would have been in the morning.
We're 58.
In the morning.
We're 58.
If we would have cracked that morning routine. But at least we made the top 58, the midday mid-market across the United States of America. You're welcome.
It's my hermano.
And that's Tommy the next 2 days. Also, Kyrie Irving talking about
58. I bet in the next 2 days we can climb to 55. What do you bet?
I just want.
I think the next 2 days we're going to send these tapes in. I bet we're going to be 55 with a bullet after the weekend's up.
Well, again, the egos run rampant on these radio stations from 6A to 7P, but I don't
think I'm number one on that list.
I would supersede Chuck, Bo, Derek. I'm not going to lump Phil and Matt in that because I don't think they necessarily deserve. But I would.
Well, you're saying
I would
not
crawl and
58?
jump. No, what I'm saying is the ego aspect of Phil and Matt does not necessarily lump into the three guys that I previously listed. But I think I would supersede them if we actually cracked it in the top 20.
You got all those guys beat when it comes to acne. There's no question about it.
Well, thank you for that.
Career, you have had so many great people help you win. So, who is your favorite rep?
All the rest are great. All the rest are great. They do the best they can. Go out there and play the game the right way.
Is there one that you give a Christmas card to every year, possibly?
It's one of my teammates that I'm trying to figure it out.
Well, the opening drive was made up of Super Bowl stuff, so we're going to have to talk about it. I would have paid endless amounts of money for him to just say Tommy Crap right there. See the,
I would pay a lot of money for me to be in that position.
To see that setup. And I realized that it sounds like the NFL basically credentials everyone for the Super Bowl.
Oh, for the media deal, yeah, it's worse than SEC media.
I think the only
you can fog a mirror, you can get in on that deal.
The only way that we would end up going is if the Cowboys actually made it, which I'm going to die before that happens, it seems like.
PPP on my part, New Orleans is not that far. It would have been fun to go down there and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's just
have a timeshare. Yeah.
It's a basketball. We're in basketball mode. Like what happened Saturday night, I wasn't not in basketball mode, but now I have nothing but Arkansas gear this weekend. I'm wearing.
Only thing to been better is to be there.
Okay. God. I'm never going to live that down. Deservedly so. All right. Back to.
And now they're playing Texas tonight, their next biggest rival. And I can't imagine. I can't imagine not being on the air tomorrow and talk about this win tonight.
Thank God that you're there. Did you see that the 17 crews of officials and 138 of them, the NFL Refs Association came out and said that like the stuff of them rigging games is like preposterous, and it was basically just this long, drawn out press release of what you guys say is crap and we're doing our jobs correctly. Is in essence what it boiled down to.
Because that'd be the best kept secret ever. 17 crews times 7. What's that number? Plus all the past officials, everyone else involved in the system.
It's 138 total.
So,
in terms of before, I don't know.
We got all these guys in on this big grand conspiracy to rig, sporting events. That'd be a hell of a secret if you could keep that.
Here's the question I have for this weekend. So Mahomes is going for number 4. 3 straight, 4 total.
Mm-hmm.
Brady got 7 of 10. When are we going to start talking now? He lost to Brady twice, once in the Super Bowl, once in the AFC Championship game. Some have already started to inch that way. Don't we love having the GOAT debate here on sports radio? When are you actually going to legitimately start having that conversation that we're watching the greatest quarterback that has ever graced the National Football League?
I think he's got to have 5.
Okay.
Then you could start having the conversation.
Yeah, I heard.
And then, Brady, who's the better coach in the prime, Andy Reid or Bill Belichick? That's debate worthy. But I'll say this. Would you say that Mahomes has had better talent around him throughout his career than Tom Brady probably did with skilled players?
So you could say that offensively, but not defensively. Cole, what were you going to add?
I was going to say part of what makes Tom Brady so great is the fact that he did it over the span of what seemed like different eras. The start of it was the very first dynasty where he was young and he had the great defense and offensive playmakers around him. And then later on, when I was a teenager, actually watching football, I began to hate Tom Brady. Yeah, it's over a 20-year period, and he had to rebuild
the longevity's hard to. Yeah, you're exactly point on there
for another franchise.
Well, and then also did it coming off a significant knee injury that left him out for Is that an entire season, or I can't remember?
It was a whole season. Yeah. They had Matt Castle.
Didn't your Dolphins actually win the AFC?
They sure did, Ty. And they went to the AFC wildcard game against the Ravens and got destroyed. Yeah. Thank you for
Ronnie
that reminder.
Brown and who's y'all's other running back? Did I say that right?
Yeah, Ronnie Brown back in the day. Yeah,
the Auburn guy. Wasn't he?
That was the Wild Dolphin.
The Wild Dolphin had Ricky Williams in that backfield too.
That's who it was.
Craving something sweet for the weekend? They've got it at Andy's Frozen Custards, Fort Smith, Conway, and in North Little Rock. Get the pick 6, perfect for perfect summertime treat, honestly. Take the family, get 6 of your favorite flavors. You take those home and enjoy them over the weekend. They're on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith with Andy's Frozen Custards. East Oak in Conway, also Dave Ward Drive. You'll also find them at JFK Boulevard in North Little Rock. And by the way, if you haven't downloaded the Andy's app in the Apple app or Google Play Store, you should do that now. It's Andy's Frozen Custards. Walk up or drive through. They're ready to serve you at Andy's Frozen Custards in Fort Smith, Conway, and North Little Rock. Give me just a moment to tell you about our friends at APAC and Standard Materials Group. They're the #1 source for top quality aggregates, asphalt, and ready-mix concrete. So whether you're working on a small residential project or a large-scale commercial job, APAC has you covered. And no job's too big or too small. 479-587-3300 to get a hold of APAC. 479-587-3300 for all your rock, asphalt, and ready-mix needs. It's APAC and Standard Materials Group. 479-587-3300.
On this very special Friday edition of the Best of the Morning Rush. Coming up this hour, Ty and Tommy got to catch up with the ever-inspirational Houston Nutt, and we sat down with former Arkansas Razorback, All-SEC wideout, Andrew Armstrong. Stay tuned for Hour 2. It's the Best of the Morning Rush.
This is the Best of the Morning Rush.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're looking for the best used car your money can buy, check out our great selection of road-ready certified vehicles with warranty. If you're trading or selling your car, let us give you a free second opinion and leave with a check in your hand. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, follow us on Facebook for special offers and fun contests. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. How about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Do you need closure on your garage? Call Grit Garage Doors. Whether it's a new door, a squeaky closing sound, a broken spring, or just off track, Grit is who you can trust. With an unheard of 15-year spring warranty option, Grit is the team you can trust. Call Grit. There's no door Grit can't close. Local team, local service with honesty and integrity. Call Grit Garage Doors. 479-430-3667. That's 479-430-DOOR.
TGI Fridays on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith now has meal deals starting at $9.99, which includes an entree, side, and fountain drink. Try their delicious 6-ounce sirloin served with seasoned fries for $15.99. The Bacon Ranch Chicken Sandwich with seasoned fries, $11.99. Chicken Caesar Salad for $10.99 and more. Their meal deals also include tasty chicken fettuccine Alfredo served with garlic breadsticks for $12.99 and a cheeseburger with seasoned fries for only $9.99. TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith.
We all plan to be on time, but fender benders, damaged windshields, and slick road quickly disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design personal protection plans that work for you and help keep you on track. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howell in Van Buren.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Consistency is what we strive for in life. Our baseball program is an ideal example of that. Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Dallas Street Dental. Dr. Bill Ligon has stressed that same concept for the last 15 years at the Dallas Street location. From getting to patients on time to diagnosing needs throughout an appointment. Dallas Street Dental is offering half-price Zoom professional whitening in June and July. In addition, Dallas Street Dental is offering a $50 new patient special. I trust my pearly whites to Dr. Ligon, and you can too.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
The best highlights, interviews, and segments. You're listening to the best of the Morning Rush.
This is former Razorback wide receiver Andrew Armstrong, and you're listening to the Morning Rush. Going back to when you were little, when I was a kid, playing football all this time, building up to the stature of trying to be consistent. That's your main goal, to trying to be consistent. You don't want any inconsistencies in your game.
Caught by Mr. Third Down, Mr. Dependable, Mr. I got you all day, Andrew Armstrong.
Green kept the play alive, and Armstrong wasn't going to let that one get away.
This guy, Andrew Armstrong, is unbelievable. Now in his second year with the Hogs, is just a catch machine.
Green gonna throw off play action, got a man open down around the goal line, complete touchdown Arkansas. Andrew Armstrong, 25 yards. How did he get that wide open?
None other than Drew Armstrong.
That's it. Well, we got Andrew today. Felix Jones is going to join us tomorrow. I think Malik Ewan's going to join us next week. So we got a loaded next couple of guests. Andrew, appreciate you making some time for us this morning, man. Just kind of give us a sense what your world's been like since obviously football season ended and you're getting ready for this upcoming NFL draft.
Oh yeah, man, it's been good. Just working, grinding. Talking to all the teams, and it's been like a dream come true. Just being able to be in this position. First off, I want to just give thanks to God, because without Him, I wouldn't be in this position that I'm in. And I just go take it with a grain of salt and just continue to do what I do, continue to work like I've been doing my whole life, and not listening to outside noise, outside me, and things like that, and just focused on what I got in front of me.
Andrew, I want to touch on that because you're a kid at Bishop Dunn High School, wasn't highly recruited. You end up at Commerce, Texas, at East Texas A&M. You bust your tail. You get recruited by some big schools like Arkansas. I think A&M's in the mix, amongst others. And you end up in Fayetteville. And then you just had a prolific last season, over 1,100 yards. You had 78 catches. What went into all that to get to this point?
Just work, just head down, just grind, making sure that no matter what I do, I know what I want to do as a person. I know what type of football player that I want to be, and honing in on the small details that I have, whether that's running a certain route a certain way, whether that's blocking, whether that's in the weight room, or whether that's just in the classroom or just off the field. Just making sure that I have all those things together to make sure that I can go out there and do what I did.
Andrew, I got to ask, and Andrew Armstrong is our guest here on the Lewis Automotive Group Hotline. You led the SEC in a bunch of categories, the best conference in college football. You had the best numbers from Pro Football Focus against zone and man coverage for a good chunk of the season. I realize that some draft people that have you projected in certain places aren't accurate. What are you hearing in terms of next week and when you could be selected in the NFL draft?
It's kind of been all over the place. Some early, some middle, some late. So really, I'm just waiting. I really, me personally, I know I put a lot of work in, a lot of grind in. So of course, everybody wants to go early. That's done things like that. But me personally, like wherever I go, like I just want that. I just want to get that opportunity and just continue to show those people that don't believe in me that to have them start believing in me. Like I said, I've been doing for a long time. Like even coming out of high school, coming out, just people not thinking, my size and things like that. People not thinking that I can do the things that I have accomplished so far, and just to keep on doing it and seeing my growth, man, that's the main thing. I'm just so happy and worried about. And I feel like wherever I go, it's gonna be God's plan.
And I think whatever team ends up drafting you is going to be happy about that. Andrew, one of my bold predictions last year is that you would go over 1,000 yards, and you did that. One of the things I noticed from the interactions we had at SEC Media Days is you and Talon had some chemistry. You guys were busting each other's chops about who was actually from Dallas, and Talon was, I guess, Louisville? And it's like, that's not Dallas, man. You guys were going back and forth about NCAA football and some other stuff. And I was like, these guys seem to have pretty good chemistry for teammates that have just kind of known each other for a couple months now. How did you develop that rapport with Talon Green here at Arkansas in just 1 year?
I mean, when Taylor first came in, he was already like, it's like we already knew him. Like, he didn't come in nervous or anything like that. He was confident. So when I seen that in him, I was pulled to that, and just me and him talking, and not just even with me, like with everybody, with all the receivers, like he was just like so confident in what he had in mind and what he wanted to do with the season. And you always want somebody that's gonna be confident, things like that. So I feel like from that point on, we were just cool, and knowing that he was going to be like the quarterback and things like that, it was definitely much more easier to talk to him and have a conversation with him and have fun.
You guys had some connections in the Tennessee game and over the course of the season. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but was the Tennessee the best moment for you in the 2024 season?
It was a big moment for me in my whole football career, actually.
Oh, wow.
Like, just seeing the storm in the field and the type of game we had as a team, it was one of the most exciting nights ever.
You had that.
I always wanted to be a part of a game where they storm the field, and crazy that it happened that day.
Yeah, you had some outstanding sideline catches. I remember. I think it was on the Tennessee sideline too, which made it even sweeter. And you think about just what happened in that game. Talon goes out, cheap shot on him. Malachi comes in, and you end up winning it. So it was quite a finish. Again, Andrew Armstrong, our guest, Razorback wide receiver, NFL draft next week. We're excited about him and the possibilities of where he ends up. I was talking about SEC Media Days. Andrew, you still got that felt cowboy hat that they gave you guys? And I think it was monogrammed too, right?
Oh, yeah, I still have it.
Okay. Have you sported it lately? You going to sport it next week for the draft?
Nah. I don't too much do the cowboy hats and stuff like that, but no, I definitely still have it, though. It's definitely here.
That's definitely a keepsake. Andrew, you got a chance to play under Coach Petrino in year one at Arkansas, former head coach, now the offensive coordinator. You flourished in his system. I wonder what Arkansas fans, like he's still trying to get his bearings around here, trying to figure out the roster. And I know it's ever-changing in the world of college football, but maybe you could give us an inside look of what fans should expect in year two, not just with Talon, but with Coach Petrino.
I mean, like with Petrino, I'm gonna say this because this is how I feel. I feel like Coach Petrino is the best offensive coordinator in the country. Like he knows even with any player that comes in, like he knows their strengths and weaknesses. Like he understands what they can do on the field, what position to put them in, how to match them up. He knows, just all the small details into being an offensive coordinator. He's a perfectionist, and when he goes out and he makes sure. The data under Petrino's second year is always a great offense. Like even though better than the one before. So yeah, I feel like the fans are going to see a even more better offense than it was last year. Absolutely.
Andrew, I know there's a lot of moving parts right now with that. I say moving parts, but there has been with that roster. You think about you, Isaac, and Isaiah no longer in Fayetteville, and Taylor's got a whole new crop of receivers he's got to get used to. And I know he came over last year from Boise State, and he had to do kind of a similar thing, but maybe you could share some insight on what that dynamic looks like, just developing relationships, not like just you did, but some of the other guys with Talon last year as well.
Like I said, Taylor is a very likable person. He's a great leader. So I feel like it's going to be like extremely easy for him to have those guys trust him and believe in him and go out on the field and know what they're doing. Because like I said, this is his second year there. He's more comfortable. He's more comfortable in the offense as well. So he has more confidence, to tell those guys like, oh, you should be here, or this is how it is, So I feel like Taylor's gonna do his thing.
What does next week look like for you? Are you back in Dallas? Are you in Arkansas? Just kind of give us a setup of what you think you're going to do next weekend.
Oh yeah, I'm back at home. I moved out of my apartment in Arkansas last Friday. So, I'm back in DeSoto, Texas. We're gonna be from Thursday, Saturday, gonna have a draft party at my house, so with friends and family and things like that. So it's gonna be that's really the rest of the week, well, working out of course before like Monday through Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, have a little fun, have the family over, friends, and have a good time.
The best highlights, interviews, and segments. You're listening to the best of the Morning Rush.